Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to a Friday show. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to do another Swift algorithms video. So today, here it is. In this lesson, I'm going to show you guys how to sort of manipulate an array so that based on a certain index in the array, I want to be able to gather all of the elements to the end of the array and then sort of wrap around the array as well. So what that kind of looks like is right here. Inside of Playgrounds, I have this tracks array, which is just A, B, C, D, and E. And what I want to be able to do is select one of these tracks in there. For example, selecting track D, it should generate a list with the elements D, E, A, B, and C. So basically going from D to the end of the list and then wrapping around to get A, B, and C inside of the resulting array. So that's what that kind of looks like. And where this comes in handy is, let's say you're working on an audio app such as Spotify here. Clicking on one of these albums, you'll get a list of tracks. And upon selecting one of these tracks, for example, Ordinary People right here, you should be able to pick up this track from that list and then generate an entire playlist that wraps around to the last track and then back up top to Love Me Now and All of Me. So that's kind of where this implementation and how this technique will help you inside of your applications. All right, so let's go ahead and begin the implementation right now. And the first thing I want to do is to execute a for loop on the tracks array. And I'm just going to print out each one of these tracks here. So I'm going to say for track in tracks and print out track right here. That's going to give me at the very bottom A, B, C, D, and E. So pretty straightforward and pretty simple. And now I want to be able to kind of gather all of these elements inside of a new array called playlist. So let's declare a var of playlist so that we can append to it. So this is going to be an empty string array like that, and playlist.append each one of these tracks that we loop through inside of the for loop, which gives me 5 times on the right. And if I just type out playlist right there, the right side of the playground will show me exactly what is inside of this playlist. All right, so good stuff. And now what I want to do is to actually select the track that I am trying to pick, right? And to do that, to kind of simulate this behavior, I'm going to say let selected track right here equals the track of lowercase d. So now that I have this track, I want to introduce an if statement inside of my for loop, right? I'm going to say if selected track is equal to the track right here, or in other words, if track inside of the loop is equal to selected track, I'm going to close the braces off and paste the append inside of the if statement. So now the playlist will end up with just the track of D, which kind of makes sense, right? Pretty straightforward right here. And now what I want to do is I want to also append the remaining tracks starting from the selected track of the selected track D. So how to do this is to go inside of the if statement and modify this to say, or if the playlist right here, if the playlist.count is greater than 0, keep on appending the tracks that you find inside of the for loop. So what that gives me is D and E inside of playlist right now. So that's pretty good. And what I want to do now is to also gather up the prior tracks that I skipped over. So first, let's create this list of prior tracks right here. And let's also set it to an empty string array. At the very bottom of the for loop, at the end of the if case, let's just say else prior tracks.append right here, and we're going to say track like that. And at the very bottom here, let's say prior tracks and then playlist, and then let the little program run, and we get ABC for the prior tracks and then DE for the playlist tracks. So the way you would kind of gather all of the tracks together is to say this right here, playlist plus prior tracks. And inside of Swift, you can just add arrays together to get the concatenation of these two arrays, which looks like D, E, A, B, and C. So that's kind of how that works. And the algorithm right here is pretty simple once you kind of understand how the logic works. And here is a different technique of implementing this algorithm where you don't really even need for loops at all. And that looks like this right here. So there's something called a prefix and a suffix for an array that kind of lets you manipulate the items inside the array a lot easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and type out let prefix array equals something. And so this something will be tracks.prefix, I'm gonna use this up to constructor or this method right here with the int of, let's just say 2. So what does this generate us? Basically, for the tracks prefix up to the second element inside of the array, which gives me A and B. If I use the value of 3 right here, we get A, B, and C. Okay. So there's another type of command on array called suffix. So suffix array, so suffix array equals tracks.suffix. Let's use this from method right here. And if you use the same value of 3, you get exactly the same type of outcome, but in the opposite direction. So we get D and E and also A, B, and C for the prefix. So given these are two arrays, you can just add them together with prefix, or actually suffix first, plus prefix right here. And that'll give you the same exact array of D, E, let's see, let R equals that. We get D, E, A, B, and C. So pretty good technique right here, right? And the way you would get this 3 value right here, based on the selected track of D in this example, is to use an index command on this array. So to do that, let's say let index equals tracks.index with this where guy right here. And this is where you need to use 2 braces right here and return the condition that matches the case that you're checking for. So basically, say $0. So this represents the element that you're looping over inside of tracks, and say equals selected track, which gives you the correct index. So for example, if you are selecting track D, this index will be 0, 1, 2, and 3. And if I just say index instead of the 3 value, we'll get the exact same array. The problem with this index right now is because it's an optional int value, you sort of have to unwrap it like that. So basically, try not to use the bang operator, use an if let and a guard let if you can. So the final resulting array looks like D, E, A, B, and C. And if we change this from D to, let's say, select a track of B, we'll get an ordering that is B, C, D, and E, and then it wraps around and gets you track A. All right, so I hope you found this algorithm helpful. Remember the source code, you can find it down below on my website. And make sure to hit the like button for this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more algorithms like this. And that's going to be it for today. Keep on coding, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.